Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
Hello, Steve. Hello, Larson. It's me, Dexter Loomis, NXT Superstar. So here's my shout out to the Going In Raw podcast. Clever name.
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found in the audio realm. We're also taping this live at the Twitch, at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. That's where you can find our recap live this coming Sunday of TakeOver 31. But of course, preceding that, we will be doing our live reactions on YouTube at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Hopefully, we will see you all there.
Yes.
The go home to that particular takeover happened this week, and that's what we're going to talk about, Larson. But before we talk about the actual episode of NXT, which is basically just a setup episode or
Totally.
pretty standard go home episode,
Yeah.
we'll do our predictions because people like
Sure.
predictions.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's get to it. So first match we got here, Cruiserweight title bout, Santos Escobar versus Isaiah, Swerve, Scott, Steve. Who do you have?
Well, Swerve sort of does himself a disservice by saying, because he's pinned Santos once in that tag match. Santos has cheated a couple times.
He beat him in the Cruiserweight tournament.
The Cruiserweight tournament as well. So that kind of, but at the same time, Santos won when it mattered. And although from what I understand, I've heard through the grapevine that Santos Escobar has been dominating things over on 205. I don't watch that show. I'm going with Swerve, but only with a single confidence point.
All right.
I think this could go either way. Chances are this match is being booked because they don't have anybody that could be considered a contender for this title beyond Swerve, and that he might lose again. But I'm going to say, assuming they don't do another, Santos cheating to get out of it, which they might, but it's TakeOver. I'm going to say Swerve actually walks away with this. Maybe it'll jumpstart something more in the Cruiserweight title on NXT as opposed to just 205.
Yeah, I got Swerve as well. 2 confidence points.
Okay,
really, there's only 2 matches I feel really good about.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That's the only one I don't feel good about.
Oh,
the
yeah.
other ones I am crystal clear about.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident about the other ones. Go on the next one, Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. So to jump ahead a little bit, end of the main event, saw Johnny pin Damien Priest, so that telegraphs the result of that match. However, it opens the door slightly for Candice potentially picking up a W over Io Shirai at TakeOver. Yeah, her and Johnny held the belts up to close the show, but they haven't done a whole lot with Io as champion, and with the draft coming up, it would be a perfect time for her to drop that belt and get moved up to the main roster. So I don't feel great about it. I'm picking Candice to win, 1 confidence point.
Okay, that's good. I mean, there's some good logic there. I kind of feel like this might lead to another match between them. This is going to be that might actually be, boy. You can't pick a match here that isn't going to be great.
Yeah, because in terms of the wrestling, it's going to be a great show.
As soon as you say Io versus Candice is going to be match of the night, you look at Finn versus Kyle O'Reilly. Mm-hmm. As soon as you do that, you look at Priest versus Gargano. And then you have Kushida versus Dream. Kushida versus Dream, that's going to be good. It might be the worst match of the night, but it still might be a 4 3/4 star match. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Io, and I've got 3 confidence points on her, only because I'm pretty certain she's going to win. I've got 2 other matches. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a toss-up between Priest and Io in terms of, okay, well, if they're going to have the Garganos win, aren't they going to have both the Garganos win? You could tell some interesting stories with one person having the title and the other not, perhaps. But I just feel like if Candice is going to win, it's probably she's going to end up screwing herself in this match, trying to cheat. And then the next match after that, maybe they'll have like a rematch on NXT TV or something. And if Io moves on, maybe they'll do it then. I would not be upset if Candice LeRae won this. I think she's terrific.
She is terrific.
I'd be okay losing it because of that.
All right, next we got Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. Steve, who do you have?
How many fingers do you have on one hand, Larson?
I have 5.
Really? I got all of them 5 as well.
5.
Kushida, all the fingers for Kushida.
Yeah, Kushida's totally win this. I got 5 on this one too.
I don't even know. I have no idea what they're doing with Velveteen Dream right now. You can always speculate, but yeah, I don't know. Kushida's totally winning this though.
Oh yeah,
like a million percent on this one.
Yeah, this is the one I'm probably the most sure about. Next, Damien Priest versus Johnny Gargano for the North American title. Until the finish, the main event on NXT, I actually was almost leading Johnny. Not anymore. Damien Priest, 3 confidence points.
Yeah, I do wonder. I think that I have Priest with 2. Gargano and Candice. They're sort of coming into this episode riding high because of the Tegan Nox injury.
Yeah.
I wonder if they need to get to if they lose both matches here, if that's going to kick them into another level of vicious and focus.
I felt like we've thought and said that before, though.
Maybe. I mean, it's panned out. They haven't won anything since then. I mean, they won their match last night, but man, they both won those titles.
Anything of consequence, titles, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I still have Priest. I don't know. I don't have any. Oh no, I guess I do. I have one title changing hands. That's a cruiserweight title.
Then finally, main event for the NXT Championship: Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly. Who do you got, Steve?
I got real Prince Balor going over with 4 confidence points. They did a hell of a job in a week. and
building up Kyle O'Reilly is legit.
This week they answered a lot of questions. They really endeavored to answer questions such as, will there be a power struggle within the Undisputed Era? Does Adam Cole really have Kyle O'Reilly's back? Adam Cole spent 15 minutes beating the living crap out of Austin Theory to prove he has Kyle O'Reilly's back. And then at the very end, when he looked into the camera with those soulful eyes of his and said how deeply he loves Kyle O'Reilly and how much he's got his back, I firmly believe that to be the case. That being said, as much as I would love Kyle O'Reilly to win this, I think it'd be a huge shock, so to speak. I don't feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen quite yet either. It's pretty cool that they're elevating Kyle O'Reilly to the main event scene, but I don't think, on a week build that they're going to put the title on him. So I got Balor with 4. Let's add one prop bet. Someone in chat here recommended it. So we're going to see the unveiling of this mystery returnee to NXT.
Yeah.
So who is it going to be? Obviously not Bob Roode. He's on Raw again.
Yeah.
So in this little vignette, whoever this is was on a motorcycle.
It was a small motorcycle, though.
I kind of feel like we might pick the same person, but
okay. Are either of us going to go with Bo Dallas?
No.
Then we're both going with Ember Moon. It is
Ember Moon, yeah.
Clearly Ember Moon.
Yeah.
Do you remember what match it was that she got injured?
I remember she hurt her elbow or something at the Rumble. I don't remember what match it was that she tore her Achilles.
Okay. I mean, the only thing is there was that one shot in the vignette of her riding past the Amway Center, which you could say is symbolic of her passing by the main roster or deviating from.
Well, that's also
the
where
main
she
roster.
took on Asuka for the first time, and Asuka basically cheated to win that match.
Oh,
we were there
okay.
for that. That's a really good match too.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We were there for that one?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. We've done a lot of cool things, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, it's totally Ember Moon. There is no other explanation. No, there's not a chance it's as who. Let me ask you this: who would you rather it be, Bo Dallas or Ember Moon?
Ember Moon.
It would. That being said, it would be kind of cool for Bo Dallas to get, another shot, like a redo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although he is like a Lizard Illuminati guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
But like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna come out at the end of the main event and like get in Finn's face? I just feel like in terms of no disrespect to Bo Dallas, it's a testament to how poorly they've booked him on the main roster that he wouldn't make that huge of an impact if he showed up to confront Finn at the end of Takeover. Whereas if Ember Moon shows up and gets in either EO or Candice's face, that's kind of a huge deal.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. So yeah, yeah. It's got to be Ember Moon. Some people here in chat are saying it'd be cool if it was James Storm. Nothing about these things scream James Storm. They're not filmed at a bar anywhere.
No, I don't see anything where he would be talking with some sort of robo voice
and like riding on like a little scooter, because that's what it looked like. It didn't look like a hog. I envision him as a hog guy.
Yeah,
big hog. Anyways, let's hop right into this episode.
Here, go ahead and get started. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, all right. So the episode started off, according to my Steve notes, if I can find them here, with Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai. The first note I have listed here is Shotzi, never do that apron spot again. And I'm kind of sad because it's literally the first thing I have here. I mean, this is a really good match between these two. But at one point, both Shotzi and Dakota Kai are battling it out on the apron. And she goes to do kind of a sliced bread move where she climbs up. She has Dakota Kai under her arm, her head under her arm, and she goes up the turnbuckle and starts to do like a sliced bread type thing to do like a whole arc going over. And she lands completely on her head. Yep. Later on her Twitter, she showed a video of her executing that move properly where she lands on her knees. But this was a very, very scary moment. If I saw this live, because, I think Sean Ross Sapp mentioned on his Twitter, she had a nasty spot on the apron. And then I saw her tweet. And then I saw the spot this morning when I watched it. If I saw this as it was happening, I know NXT's not live. It's not live.
It's shot. No, I think it's shot same day.
I think it's, obviously, we would have heard in advance that something tragic happened. This was ugly. This was so ugly.
Yeah, I know. There was that spot and that first midair super kick that Adam Cole did to Austin Theory. That made me wince because Austin Theory just launched himself at Adam Cole head first, and like, there's no way he could like pull back or anything.
Oh, I didn't even notice that one. I think I was writing down. I think I was writing down that Austin Theory was getting his ass kicked when that happened.
He pretty much ran the ropes, jumped towards Adam Cole, didn't have his hands up, and got annihilated.
Oh my God! Wow.
It looked like it could have been bad. I mean, he was fine, so I guess it wasn't bad.
Yeah. So, anyways, this is a really fun match. The finish saw Gonzalez. So at one point, Gonzalez tripped up. Raquel Gonzalez came down with Dakota Kai. I didn't mention that. Mm-hmm. She trips up Shotzi. Rhea comes down. As the ref and Shotzi are both kind of distracted by that, Dakota Kai goes for that corner kick, but Shotzi comes to enough to evade, gets a roll up for 3 to get the win right there on Dakota Kai. But it was a pretty fun match. Yeah,
Rhea ran down too once Raquel Gonzalez got involved, pushed her into the ring steps.
Yeah.
All that stuff. After that, we had a split screen interview. Santos, Escobar, Isaiah, Swerve, Scott. This was much better than many of the ones we see on the main roster. Most notably that one between Braun and Brock, where Braun was in the ring and forgot his lines.
This looked like it was filmed in various parts of a strip club.
Yeah, I know. The lighting on that Santos one especially was really good.
It was really cool. He was sitting in the one of the corner lounge chairs. One of the clubs where they don't go to a back room. They do all the lap dances there in front of everybody. And then looked like Swerve couldn't get in for whatever reason. He didn't have the cover and his card wasn't working, so he's in the lobby area.
Yeah. This is pretty much Swerve saying, I've had opportunities. I've been the only man who has pinned Santos and WWE thus far. The only times that Santos has ever beaten me was through cheating, essentially. The loaded luchador mask, etc. Santos calls Swerve a parasite. Said he's a loose end. He doesn't like loose ends. And he says at Takeover our match will be fair. And then Swerve has a hard time believing it. saying that Santos always has a bag of tricks. And Santos says, all I hear is excuses. When it matters, you can't deliver, Swerve. And then to kind of conclude, Santos says, Swerve, you're making this all about yourself, and that's why you're going to fail. Santos has rebuilt the Cruiserweight division in his image and imbued it with lucha tradition. He says all of Swerve's showcasing won't be enough because what Swerve calls tricks, Santos calls lucha tradition that's been around for 100 years, and he's going to bury Swerve in it.
Swerve should have responded with by calling Santos a trick. like Vicky called Baron Corbin a trick that time. Oh, man. Yeah, this was good stuff. I guess my only comment, my only criticism of this is when you're doing a split screen interview, Swerve was really getting into this. And so when Santos would say stuff, he would kind of respond under his breath and say, oh, really? Oh, really? That kind of disrupts the flow of the other guy. So like whenever there's a split screen thing, I would maybe tell the producer, hey, don't do that because you're just sort of kind of interrupting the other guy's flow. But this was really good stuff. I mean, a lot of it is just, yes, it's performance, but also it's presentation. And presentation was really good here. We got another vignette for, obviously, Ember Moon's return.
Yeah.
After that, we had a really well put together, super babyface Kyle O'Reilly video package. He talks about the Undisputed Era. There's a little interview bit with Adam Cole talking up Kyle O'Reilly. He's saying, the Undisputed Era, they're real, they're brothers, they are literally my three best friends. He mentions this was pretty interesting, talking about his history with Finn Balor. He says, I've basically been chasing Finn his whole career. Not a lot of people know this, but basically, when Finn was in a place, Kyle would go to that place right as Finn was leaving. Talks about Japan, and then NXT. Finn was already gone. There's some really cool mountain bike footage. I really want to start doing some mountain biking, man. It seems so nice.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin on his Instagram posts videos. Now, he goes a little bit more extreme than I would, but it always looks so, refreshing and kind of fun, and I don't know. I want to do some mountain biking. I think it'd be fun. I got to find some trails around here. And
there's trails are of abundance around here, man.
There's a ton of great trails around here. Anyways, he addresses the question, what would happen with the Undisputed Era if I win? He says, same thing as before. This would become the second wave of the Golden Prophecy. Yeah. So all seems to be well. The Undisputed Era.
Yeah. So, however, there was, apart from one still of Bobby Fish, there wasn't a whole lot of Bob Fish or Roderick Strong in this thing. Nor was there any later on.
Well, not individuals, but they showed plenty of shots of the collected.
I meant interview snippets.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, I mean, as we've seen, Kyle was trying to stop them from being bastard heels to Drake. So yeah, maybe you're onto something there.
After that, we got a Johnny and Candice interview. First, they're asked about the attack on Tegan, and they mentioned that Tegan tore her ACL. Candice said, "Well, the attack just had to be done." And then Gargano says, yeah, now they're even Steven. She broke my TV. We tore her ACL. And then they're asked about TakeOver. Johnny says the TakeOver Destiny will be on its way. They'll be the first married couple to be champions. And Candice adds that it starts today, but they finish it on Sunday.
After that, just prior to that, we did have the confirmation officially on TV that Tegan Nox has a torn ACL. That's legit. After that, my favorite, Cameron Grimes comes down, and he's like, oh, Cameron Grimes is not in the best mood right now. I had every chance in the world, but it was all taken away at that stupid gauntlet eliminator. What a stupid idea. I can come up with my own match. The Cameron Grimes Invitational Stepping Stones to the Moon match. So basically, this is like an open challenge for chumps. Opponent number one, Joey.
Well, he's not open challenge. He said he handpicked everybody.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's his invitational. You're right. So opponent number one is Joey Pistachio. Now, you might recognize this guy as person who came to the aid of Bailey or Sasha.
It'd be Sasha.
Week.
Yeah.
He was a real small.
Was that the same guy?
Yeah.
Was that the guy that was lifting and Bianca Belair was outlifting him? Because that was the same dude.
I think so. I think it was Joey Pistachio.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyways, he's here because he wants to go to the moon. This guy, Cameron Grimes didn't even put down the microphone. He gives him a cave-in, and he still has the microphone as soon as poor Joey Pistachio gets in the ring. He gets back on the mic. He's, all right, next opponent, Joey Strong. But then Joey Strong is getting his ass whooped on the stage by Giant Ridge Holland. Yep. And he starts coming down to the ring, and he's like, hey, Ridge, I'm a big fan. I think you're really good, but you're not part of the Invitational. And then as soon as he tries to butter up Ridge a little bit, he just eats a headbutt. The bell rings. Ridge just starts destroying Grimes. Grimes gets out of there pretty quick.
Well, the ref called for the bell because Ridge got DQ because
he was just like stomping him, right? Yeah, he was kicking him.
He wouldn't stop stomping him. After that, we get an Austin Theory interview. He's asked about his recent struggles, and he says, "Oh, I don't struggle." He says, "As for last week against Damien Priest, I think." Says it never should have happened. He should have been in the gauntlet match that Kyle O'Reilly won. Speaking of Kyle O'Reilly, I saw that video. It was very inspirational. It took him 15 years to get a title shot, but that's kind of a long time. I was 22 and already at WrestleMania. They're calling Kyle O'Reilly the future. Maybe Kyle O'Reilly should catch up to Austin Theory.
I don't know where he's getting all his hubris from. He gets his ass kicked every single week.
I know.
After that, we had a Kushida video package. He's been distracted, had injuries. Now he's impatient. He knows he has to kick it up a notch and go ballistic. And at TakeOver, you're going to see him explode. And he says, Dream, you're going to be my stepping stone to the moon.
Yeah. And then he went and showed that against Tony Nese. He annihilated Tony Nese. Annihilated him. Former cruiserweight champion got decimated.
Yeah. So that match is next. And the only thing I have here is Kushida indeed was more vicious. He stomps the shit out of him and taps him out. That was basically the match. He just beat the crap out of Tony Nese.
Yeah, he goes after Tony Nese's arm, stomps the crap out of him, puts the hoverboard lock on. Nese taps. Then the ring is bathed in purple light. Velveteen Dream shows up on the Tron. Since this is Kushida's first TakeOver bout, Dream says, spotlight's going to be too bright for you. However, the Dream always puts on his best performances under the brightest spotlights.
And then he disappeared back into 2018 because he's been doing the same exact thing. After that, we had Cameron Grimes still nursing his face from the Ridge Holland beatdown. He doesn't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anybody unless you know where Regal is. Get out of my face. And then he runs into Dexter Lumis and says, hey, man, do you know where Regal is? And Lumis, of course, doesn't say anything because he don't talk except if it's in our intro. He says, you're a freak, man. And then he walks off.
Yeah.
So it looks like Lumis might be on pretty close to recovery, if not completely recovered.
Yes. After that, we had Adam Cole. He hits the ring. And more or less, he's saying, make no mistake about it. We may have lost all our titles. We're still the same Undisputed Era. Just because we have no gold, people think they can say what they want, do what they want around us. There'll be no repercussions. Nothing has changed. We're still the same. And then he calls out Austin Theory. He says, you want to run your mouth about Kevin Owens? We'll bring your Kyle O'Reilly. I have it written here as KO. We'll bring your ass to the ring and say it to my face. So Theory walks down the ramp. He doesn't have a mic. He's like, oh, you don't have to be mad. And Cole says, well, I'll keep it simple. You got two options. You can bring your stupid face to the ring, get your ass kicked, or you stay where you are, and the Undisputed Era will beat him where he stands. And Theory's like, oh, you want to jump me? All right, I'll go with the ring. And then Adam Cole proceeded, say for maybe like 3 minutes, to work over Austin Theory pretty completely. It was a really fun match, though.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun when Austin Theory's head turned really purple.
Which happened probably within the first 3 minutes.
Man, I was like, I honestly thought this was going to end with him not getting off one offensive move because it was like 7 minutes deep, and the only offense he got was out of a headlock with some elbows. Then he said, he finally landed like a drop kick. He took over for a little bit, like he said, maybe 3 minutes. Cole got control back.
Most of that was during a commercial break, too.
Mm-hmm. And then Theory ate a last shot from Cole. He didn't even have to put his knee pad down.
No, he didn't have to set up with a Panama Sunrise either.
Oh, yeah, no, none of that.
But when I mentioned that super kick, so Theory's running the ropes. He bounces off. I guess maybe he's trying to do like a flying forearm or something. Doesn't even get his arms up. Cole just annihilates him with a super kick. Annihilates him. And then shortly after that, Theory goes for probably a rolling blockbuster. Again, Cole, super kick midair. his timing on that is impeccable.
He's great. He's so great. After the match was over, he basically looked in the camera, cut a little mini promo, expressed his love of Kyle O'Reilly. And, it was really good stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're onto something, man. Maybe they're going to splinter. Maybe Strong and Fish will become big baddies. It's a possibility. Definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if that is to happen, do you think it's more likely it'll happen? Somebody will cost Kyle the match, or it'll be a situation where Kyle loses, and then someone, in expressing their disappointment and potential disgust that he couldn't win, takes out their frustration on him. Then
it's rare that the Undisputed Era doesn't get involved in matches like this. So you gotta figure it's gonna hold to that same pattern. What did Kyle O'Reilly say during the little sit down with Finn Balor? Here's my hands. This is the Undisputed Era. We wash each other's hands or something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand that metaphor, to be honest with you, but I don't know if him talking incessantly about it was. I mean, that's got to be some foreshadowing.
Yeah,
they talked a lot about it. I mean, I understand it's a question that everybody would have, but yeah, there's got to be that's got to be some foreshadowing.
Yeah, you got to think something's got to happen there. Some story beat's got to be hit.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we had a Damien Priest and Io Shirai interview. They're asked how confident are they heading into Takeover.
Power couple.
Power couple. They can keep that because we're gonna keep our titles.
Yeah, you're gonna see a preview of Takeover. We're the real rock stars of NXT. Now he's a rock star. We're the real rock stars of NXT. And then the thing that I love about it is that the end of his portion of the interview, he didn't really punctuate it. He just stared down at his title, like interview over. But I'm just gonna signal it by staring at my title.
I know.
And then Io Shirai, rather. If I'm not mistaken, now she said most of this in Japanese.
Yeah.
But when she used her hand motion to refer to Damien Priest up here and Johnny Gargano down here, I think you were saying Priest is a big dude, Gargano's a little guy, so you can the writing's on the wall there, and then they do the devil horns and they bump that.
Yeah, because Io says, "Yeah, we're rock stars."
Mm-hmm,
and I think Damien says to her, "Oh man, that's really cool." Mm-hmm. And then he kind of walks off, and then Io says, "He's not so bad."
Yeah, I thought that like their brief alliance was actually pretty cute. I like their entrance together was kind of cute. Before we got to that, though, we had Kayden Carter versus Xia Li. Xia Li. Golly.
I think it's Xia.
Xia was working heel here. She dragged Kayden to the floor for the apron with a pretty big thump.
Yeah, she was much more aggressive.
Mm-hmm, yeah. She was stomping her when she got back in. They go through sort of a series of roll-ups and roll-throughs until Kayden got the pin for 3. After the match, Kayden was trying to, shake her hand and pick her up. Xia pushed her down and stomped off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. After that, we had the Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly face-to-face, hosted by Shawn Michaels. HBK opens up saying, as far as I know, there's no animosity between the two of you yet. Mm-hmm. So if you want, shake hands, have a seat, and they do. Finn starts by congratulating Kyle. Says he has a lot of respect for him, looking forward to the match. Kyle feels the same way. Michaels puts over Finn, saying this is the best Finn we've seen. But he also feels that Kyle O'Reilly is perhaps the best kept secret in all of wrestling. What do you think about that, Finn? Finn says, well, he's not a secret at all, but he watches the business. But this business watches Finn because Finn knows this business. He knows how good Kyle is. And Kyle's like, I'm a fan of yours, Finn. You're so good at stroking your own ego. But it's interesting you do that now when you're facing certain defeat.
You got a little puppy in there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
There she is. Old puppy dog. At least she didn't go back there, rubber butt at the carpet.
That'd have been great. I can see her little butt there. It's great.
So then Finn asks if Kyle is going to show up with the Undisputed Era, if he's going to show up by himself like a man. And Kyle goes, oh, I'll show up like a man. That's what he did the thing. Here's the thing about Undisputed Era. You see this? You see this? This is the Undisputed Era. One hand washes the other.
So is this like a new COVID thing where they wash each other's hands to make sure they all do it right?
Well, I think it's supposed to be taken literally. I think.
Do they shower together or something?
They just help each other.
This is like a JBL Edge situation.
I think you're reading too much into it, man. And Kyle says, this is my moment. And then that's when HBK brings up the elephant in the room, potential conflict that could happen if O'Reilly wins the title. Cole, he likes being champion.
Yeah.
O'Reilly calls it laughable, says he's nothing like Adam Cole. He says, look at you, Finn. You're a beautiful man. Look at me. My ears are crooked. It's like I got freckles all over the place.
I'm going to slap those freckles off your face, Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly had a really good Irish accent impersonation when he did that. That was really funny.
I like they did a good job of keeping Kyle intense, but he wasn't afraid to throw a couple jokes in there. Like we was calling Finn beautiful and describing himself. He did in a funny manner. Yeah,
it wasn't overboard though. I did like the framing on this too. They kept the lights down, with the exception of the participants, and then the over the shoulder shots. I thought were really
it was
good.
Really good. It was good. Finn's like, hey, there's no room for jokes here. I've been proving myself for 20 years. And O'Reilly's like, all right, huge deal. I've been doing it for 15. What's another 5? It's just this kind of relatively polite trash talk.
It was a very diplomatic face.
Nothing really escalated beyond just mild irritation. At the end, though, Finn says, Kyle, you're funny, you're charismatic, and you're really good in the ring. You have everything it takes to be to be NXT champion, and you would be if that belt wasn't around my waist. And it just kind of ended there.
Yeah, pretty much. It was very, everybody was on best behavior. Nobody got up. Nobody mad dogged anybody. There was no flinching or anything like that.
It was all very polite.
Yeah. So we'll see what this is gonna be a killer match though.
Yeah,
this is gonna be just a killer match. After that, we had the main event. Damien Priest and Io Shirai. Like I said, Damien Priest comes out to his entrance, but then when he does the arrow thing, it goes into Io Shirai's entrance. She comes down. They sort of like start disrobing while looking at each other. I was like, yeah. And they took off the belts, and then they
scream at each other's face.
Yeah, they screamed at each other, and then it was like a Klingon mating ritual. Then they go running down to the ring. They run out the Garganos. And there was just a lot of really fun mixed tag stuff here. Reminded me of the mixed match challenge stuff, but like maybe a little bit more intense. At one point, Io Shirai stood on top of Damien Priest's shoulders and launched herself onto the floor, onto the Garganos. You saw Gargano eat a 619 on his back as he protected Candice. The finish saw Io go for a moonsault, but Johnny comes in, rolls Candice out of the way. He gets up and starts goading her, to do it to him. So Priest comes over, gives him the belt clap to the ears.
I like he's bringing back the belt clap.
I know, I love that. So Priest sets up Gargano for a reckoning, but then Candice comes in, gives him a low blow. Johnny's able to get one final. John is able to get one final beat to get 3 on Priest, ensuring that he will not win a takeover.
Oh, totally not winning that. Totally not winning.
But then after the match, they both put the titles on.
Well, they hold them up. They don't put them on.
I swear I saw a picture of them.
Oh, they actually put them on? Because they held them up and the little copyright thing showed up, and I stopped watching. So I assumed that was the end, but maybe did more happen afterwards.
I assumed it was on the broadcast. But yeah. So like, there's totally a picture of them wearing the titles on on John's Twitter account. So yeah, they look great. They look awesome as champions. Yeah. But at that point, I was like, oh my God, they're not going to do that. Unless she's going to, maybe you're right. Maybe she'll walk away with it and he won't. And it'll throw things off a little bit with the John Garganos.
Yeah.
His new profile
like when
picture
the Undisputed
great.
Era was going after their own prophecy, they didn't win them all at once. It was piece by piece,
Yep. His new profile picture is great too.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it was weird. He didn't wear that jacket to the ring. Like he had the jacket on and the towel
with
underneath.
The towel, I know, looked great.
I thought that was going to be it. That's just his warm up gear, huh?
This is chill gear.
Guess so. So. All right, you want to answer some questions?
Yes. First up, thank you. I just saw this Pender Zdun for the new sub. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's see here. See if Discord has any good quality. Look at that Discord filling up with questions. Alex Foster, would you let Dexter Loomis house sit for you?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's cool. He's a public name. He wouldn't want to get now that he's like, peeing in my corners and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Alex C. I think it's the thing is Bo. It's going to be played as a delusional heel joke. If he returns to NXT and actually does all his talking through that robo voice, that'd be kind of funny.
I'd love it if he was wearing the helmet with the 3D camera on it, because that was clearly what was doing it was mounted on his helmet.
Yeah.
And Shive, who's headed to the main roster in the draft?
Io Shirai.
I'm gonna say maybe Casey Catanzaro and Kayden Carter. I think maybe they're gonna bring in some like Io's a really good pick, but it might be one of those where they bring up some like names that aren't really doing anything, but they're ready for it. That's a possibility.
Awkward Vegas, thank you for the bit. Says, give me a Bo Dallas victory lap on a motorcycle.
That'd be pretty funny. Tyler says, Triple H said this week he doesn't know who's going to go to the main roster during the draft. Do you think this could cause a problem for the ratings and storylines for NXT? I think NXT is there to be a disruptor, and if they win the ratings war, then that's like, the cherry on top. But I think they're there to prevent AEW from getting $1 million.
Yeah, pretty much. And even if Triple H knew who was getting called up, I don't think he would lead on that he did.
And I don't think the ratings are going to move drastically. And in NXT's case, I think AEW you'll probably see us. In fact, they should be dropping really soon here.
Yeah.
I think my thought, my opinion, or my guess is AEW is going to be able to very slowly uptick their ratings for as long as they're around. I think NXT is probably going to hover around where they are unless they bring some bigger names from main roster over to their product, like a Kevin Owens. If you have a really hot Kevin Owens, Adam Cole story, that might probably boost them up to 800,000. I could see that being a possibility.
As it exists now, there's a more or less a self-imposed ceiling on NXT because they refuse to go to another night. If they went to another night, then they could. The sky's the limit.
Going to another night, if they stay on Wednesdays, I don't know. Yeah. You're probably right. It's probably just going another night.
Gamer Realm, thank you for the gifted sub.
Tyler also asks, if NXT UK gets more traction, would you cover it? I'd be content maybe giving it to Wayne and Alex. Alex is he's just gonna take over all our podcasts at this point.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Alex C says, does Kushida have the best current ring gear?
I really like his ring gear.
Oh, that's great.
I will say it looks like
it is really good.
It's like board shorts, basically. I don't know if it's the best because it's too influential. It's too Back to the Future.
Yeah. Alex C again. Should Kyle O'Reilly get a remix of the Undisputed Era theme for his takeover match and singles run? No. Adam Cole never got that. Okay,
so here they are. AEW 866, NXT 732. So they're up 6%. AEW's up 3%. AEW is got a 0.33 in the demo and NXT a 0.19.
All right, so the demo number more or less stayed consistent for both.
AEW went up 3%. NXT went up 5.5%.
Yeah. Because they were under 700,000 last week.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, Fear and Loathing. Here's a wild card pick. Lars Sullivan is the mystery vignette person. I would welcome that.
O-Dog says, is Keith Lee going back to NXT? He just posted a picture of himself on a motorcycle.
Yes.
NXT return confirmed. That was quick.
Yes. That's happening.
Dang MQ says the match between Noam Dar and Alexander Wolf in NXT UK is really good.
Yeah, I might check that out. We don't have a lot more to do today. Let's see here.
This is an interesting question from Fear and Loathing. Santos, Escobar, and crew are drafted to the main roster to legitimize them. Vince wants to add a big man to the group. Who are you adding? And are they getting kidnapped and shoved into a van like the other guys?
Well, yeah, that's how you get into LDF. Big man. Why am I drawing a blank on everybody right now?
Well, I'm just trying to think of somebody would qualify as a big man that fits into their ethos, you know? It's all about lucha tradition.
Yeah, right. Didn't they have under contract and then he got injured? One of the big Lucha Underground guys?
Which one?
I don't remember.
Well, I mean, Santos is King Cuerno.
Mil Muertes?
No.
No, Alex C said bring him in. Damn it. Who am I thinking of?
Mil Muertes would be great, though. That guy's huge. I'll just say this, Damien Priest. He does some high-flying stuff.
Damien Priest.
Bring him into Legado del Fantasma.
That would so not work. Oh, man. Maybe I was actually thinking of Santos.
King Cuerno.
Maybe I was thinking of him.
Yeah, I thought that might have been the case.
Yeah.
Gareth with the draft. And Kyle O'Reilly's title shot is now a perfect time to add a new addition to Undisputed Era. Could Kevin Owens help them transition to the main roster better? I kind of feel like since O'Reilly's got this title opportunity, Undisputed Era is not going anywhere. Because there's a story that will have to play out between the four of them after this match. However, whatever happens. I mean, I guess it's a possibility it's just a loose end that they wanted done because they're calling them all up.
Yeah.
And maybe that's one of the things that Triple H was like, all right, Kyle, we're going to give you a main event push when you're here. So I know he's been saying, and I think he said in the conference call that this is something they had wanted to do, but they had to expedite it. So maybe it's a situation where they're going to get called up and they want to give Kyle O'Reilly, a good single spotlight before he moves up to Raw and is probably stuck in a tag team for the remainder of his WWE career,
Yeah, right. Are going to, next week on Main Event, Ricochet and Ali and Kyle O'Reilly. Triple threat match.
Yeah. So I don't know. Either it's a situation where they're going to be around because they got a story they want to tell with them, or this is just the one last kind of loose end for them before they get moved up. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out by the end of Sunday, though, because either I could potentially see Undisputed Era coming down after the match is done, doing a big send-off, a sign-off thing, a goodbye, bowing to the crowd, and then we all know, oh, they're going to main roster, or there's going to be drama between them.
Yeah. I'm just trying to do something. Having the mystery be someone coming for Finn wouldn't be ideal. You don't want the return to lose on the comeback, and you don't want Finn to be the obvious transitional champion. Well, I mean, if it's a situation where someone's coming back and they challenge Finn, I don't think they have to win, depending on who it is. I think it's more about they arrive, they make an impact in some regard.
Okay, let's for the sake of the argument, let's say Pac was the guy coming back. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. But let's say, just because I'm trying to think of a name that's been gone and is coming back, okay? In this situation, he's at the level where, he would, if he did come back, he would be in that spot. They wouldn't try to put it back on 205. He'd be back he'd be in the Finn spot, basically.
Yeah.
For him to come back, I feel like for it to be most effective, he would have to win against Finn. It'd have to be a shock moment where he would win. So I could totally see that.
Yeah, that's possible. It depends on who it is. Like if it is Bo Dallas, he has a shock moment against Finn.
That's a way different thing because Bo is beyond buried.
Oh, I know. It is a different thing. And so a lot of it depends on who it is.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, Ember Moon is an interesting one because I don't know that, she comes back and immediately beats whoever has the title. I mean, I guess if she comes back, she's going to be a face. If Candice wins the title, there you go. But does she win immediately? I don't know. That's the case.
I don't know either. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Jorge D, what would your name be in the Cameron Grimes Stepping Stone to the Moon Invitational be?
I don't know why this just came to mind. This just showed up in my head. Steven Pants.
Okay.
What about yours?
All right.
Larson's kind of a clunky name, so maybe.
How about this? Grand larceny.
Okay, that works. Great. But is it Grand, like Grand Metalik?
Sure, it can be. But instead of larceny, how it's actually spelled, it's
Right.
Larson with a Y at the end.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you for the bits, Rick Verde.
Thank you, Rick Verde. Let's see here. Gregory Fialella. Do you think NXT will ever break 1 million viewers again this year? No. And if not, what should they do to try to get more viewers? Look, Triple H has said multiple times he does the best. If Vince really wanted NXT to get many more viewers, on a Wednesday night, breaking 1 million is really hard. Mm-hmm. It's really hard. But if he really wanted to do it, he's got Roman Reigns. He's got Drew McIntyre.
He's got Seth Rollins.
He's got Seth Rollins.
Kevin Owens.
If he wanted to do it, he could do it.
Yep.
But clearly, NXT beating AEW is not that big of a concern. It's mainly preventing them from growing at a faster pace.
It's preventing them from doing better. Yeah, I know.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Doc Linderman's is the recent trend of CFO $ themes disappearing, another sign that Undisputed Era might be on the way out. I didn't really notice them kind of chipping away at the CFO $ themes in NXT.
According to Sean Ross Sapp, wrestlers have said no. They've been given the option. Hey, here's a new theme. Can you use this? And they have said no. There are wrestlers out there who have said no to that. I don't know what the deal with the Keith Lee thing is, but I don't know. Maybe when he said, "Hey, everybody just chill out and stay tuned," maybe because they're going to do something with him, with his character, that's going to justify him not having such a uplifting theme song like his original one.
Mm-hmm. White Brownie Triple H said that Takeover will have a different, unique look and feel. What do you think he meant? Remember that one time they did Takeover where they brought all the house lights down?
Yeah.
I think they did it once.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question?
So Triple H did say on the conference call that Takeover is going to have a unique look and feel. I don't know what that means, though. Ryan K. Lamb says the return to NXT is that one guy that won the tag team titles with Pac. I assume not Corey Graves.
Yeah, no.
The name's on the tip of my tongue, too.
I know. Oh, it was a British guy.
Yeah.
Somebody will have it. Oliver Gray. Thank you,
Yep,
Tony
that's
V.
it. They were the very first NXT tag team champions.
Let's see here. Rain Trigger, regarding Kyle O'Reilly's spot-on impressions, power rank your favorite impressions to do. My favorite impression to do is The Undertaker.
Yeah.
It's just a fun voice to do, and I have several iterations of it that I can sort of move through.
Mm-hmm. Kenny Omega is actually pretty easy for me.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only one. Dang MQ, Lars would be interesting, but the video package last week mentioned a former champion.
Yeah, and also it'd be weird for him to be driving around a little motor scooter like that too. None of it fits for him, but that'd be rad. I just like the general idea of Lars coming back. I thought number one for the stuff that he did and copped to, and from what we understand, apologized for in person behind the scenes. And then for the video to come out of the porno he did, that guy's gone through a lot of humiliation. I feel like he's probably paid his price. He's paid his dues. He's learned a lesson, which is kind of most important, that you change as a person. I'd like to see him do better,
Fear and Loathing is Dijak, a modern day Mike Awesome.
Yeah, there are definitely some parallels there.
A huge dude that can do super athletic stuff. What?
Was this? Alex C says, ever noticed that the soft-spoken Taker impression is just Jake from Ride to Hell voice in old school Friendo Unified Championship Wrestling? He wants horny. I want horny.
Hey, I've noticed that. It's a lot like that.
I want horny.
Oh, my goodness.
I want horny.
Jonathan asks, what if Undisputed Era come to SmackDown or Raw and Kyle O'Reilly is the NXT champion? It could be a reason to draw main roster talent to come to NXT.
I don't think Kyle O'Reilly's going to win the NXT championship. I don't think it's going to happen. It'd be great if it did.
Vermilion says, I think Adam Cole attacks Kyle after the match and they feud, ending with Cole moving to the main roster and Kyle the new leader of Undisputed Era at NXT.
Is Adam Cole was he overcompensating this week? Being so heaping so much praise on Kyle O'Reilly?
Maybe.
That he's going to turn on him? He's going to say, hey, Kyle, I want horny. Wizard of Crozer says, is Austin Theory NXT's new whipping boy? I think his tagline should be losing all day.
Yeah, I know.
All day loser.
I know. He loses a lot. Saldes, do you guys think the recent injury to Tegan's is going to have an effect on her future on WWE main roster? We know Vince doesn't like injury-prone stars. It seems like I know Triple H has talked about it, that there's potential for people to kind of be NXT mainstays. I don't think there's going to be necessarily the pull to call up everybody from NXT if Vince deems them ready. She already had her surgery. She'll recuperate. Triple H seems supportive of her. I don't think it's going to be a situation where he's going to have any hesitation to push her because she's had knee issues. So I mean, like she could potentially just stay in NXT.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out. We are going to stick around Twitch chat for a little bit to answer some more of these questions. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson.